Hi everyone, back to the More YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game down at Anfield on New Year's Day, 8 p.m. kickoff against the league leaders. Not looking forward to this one at all, to be brutally honest with you, but we're going to try and cover it as best we can, talk about how we think the team is going to line up or how Eddie's going to set the team up, really. Not the way I'd set the team up, but I'll get into that in a minute. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you're new to the channel, you're just chatting us out for the first time, hello, good to see you. Hope you had a good new year, or you're going to have a good new year even. Smash that button. We're over 6,100 subs. Love you to be on board. All free content. If you want to give a little bit back to the channel, there is an option there for you. Just down below, whichever one suits you best. Smash that button, no pressure. Right, so let's get stuck in. So as we say, we're going to Anfield, which isn't normally a happy hunting ground for us. We owe these bastards one as well after they beat us 2-1 at St James's, which we should have won that game. It still sticks in my craw, that game. The fact that we didn't win that game when they were down to 10 men. Just absolute shit game management by Newcastle at that particular time. And I really wish it hadn't happened. And who knows what the season will look like if we won that game, possibly, moved a little bit forward, a little bit more momentum. But it's been and gone. I'm not sure we're going to get a revenge mission here, unfortunately, at Anfield. This is how I think Eddie will set the lads up. We'll talk about Liverpool in a minute. Now, this isn't how I would set us up, just before we get off the bat there. In terms of Dubravka in goal, can't really change that. He's looked shaky. He's got the presence of tracing paper. In my opinion, the hat-trick Chris Wood scored at St James's, which was a terrible game for us to have before going into this one. He had no presence whatsoever coming out. I've seen traffic cones on the A1 with more presence and more ability to stop oncoming traffic than Dubravka against Chris Wood. He went the ground way too easy, and Chris Wood's not even that good of a player. You're talking about Mo Salah coming against you here as one of the best players the Premier League's ever seen at the weekend. Nunez has the ability to turn it on and look really good and equally really shit at the same time. Diaz as well. So I'm not looking forward to Dubravka against those guys at all. A new goalkeeper is a massive priority for me in January. I think anyone who thinks otherwise is completely deluded. The noises about Dubravka being class have really gone quiet. When Pope first got injured, everyone was going, "Oh, Dubravka's minute," and then suddenly the bad performances have reminded you why we spent 10 million quid to sign Nick Pope, and that is exactly the reason why. Dubravka ain't good enough. We need a new goalkeeper. The back four, I think what he'll do is he'll drop Dan Burn. I know Mark's got a wrong number in from there. I've just spied that. He'll hate me for that. Sorry, Mark. But I think Tino should come back in a left back. I will be astounded if he doesn't. The shift Dan Burn putting against Forest was embarrassing. Slow, totally off the pace. Looked like a pub team player. I know he's kind of rushed himself back from injury. He's got no pace anyway. He was ripped to pieces against Elanga. And Elanga is not Diaz or Salah. So no way should Dan Burn play this game. Botman and Shaw at the back. Trippier will continue at right back. He's still not quite himself as Kieran Trippier. Again, he got caught a couple of times against Forest, and I'm worried about what he's going to do. Now, in the midfield, if it was me personally, Sean Longstaff wouldn't play. He stunk the pitch out against Luton. He stunk the pitch out against Forest. I'd play Louis Miley, at least the lad's capable of finding these accurate through balls that he showed against Forest for the penalty and the goal that was scored. But I don't think Howe will do that. I think Howe will stick Longstaff back in alongside Bruno and Joe Linton. And the front three will be Gordon, Isak, and Almiron again, who's a player I wouldn't play. I would move Gordon over to the right, Joe Linton to the left of the front three, and put Louis Miley probably in the midfield with Sean Longstaff, because we don't have enough bodies, really, to be honest with you. Or you could even put Isak to the left and Wilson through the middle, and then have Joe Linton, Bruno, and Miley in midfield if you wanted to take Longstaff out of the equation. That's what I would personally do, but I don't think Eddie Howe will do the same thing. In terms of Liverpool, they are missing some key players. I mean, obviously, Andy Robinson's not playing for them. He's still out with a long-term shoulder injury. Thiago's still out with a hip injury as well. I think Endo will probably play for them. He's done really well. We've got Szoboszlai, Konate, and I think Diaz will all be back into the side as well. So, I mean, your Liverpool side, based on what Sportsmall are thinking here, I'm probably in agreement with them, really, would be Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, who's really started to come onto a game again. Still can be caught defensively, though. If Gordon's at it and rested, he could really go with him. Showed that at St James's. Konate, Van Dijk, Gomez, Szoboszlai, Endo, Gravenberch, Salah, Gakpo, and Nunez is probably the lineup we're looking at, really. And that's a decent side. That is a decent side that can cause us a lot of trouble. I think where we'll have successes, will be if Joe Linton and Bruno can turn up in the midfield and really rattle in amongst that midfield against Endo and Gravenberch. Szoboszlai can find those little pockets of space. So that's the worry again. Without the presence of a number 6, I think he could really exploit us in that back four that is really patched together and off form, really. Shaw looks like he's carrying a knock. Trippier's off form. Botman's back and he's getting back to his best. It's nice to see. So the strength of that defense is really on that left-hand side for me with Tino and Botman. Shaw and Trippier look like they really could use a rest, but we don't have enough players to come back. I think Lascelles is going to be back from an injury, so he'll probably be on the bench. I don't think he'll start. But yeah, Szoboszlai worries me. As does Salah and Nunez as well in those full-back positions. If they're not getting any change out of Tino, they might flip over to Trippier, and he's looked like he's got a goal gaff in him any minute, really, unfortunately, in the last few weeks. But I think where we could win this game, really, for me, would be, again, if Joelinton and Bruno can rough up that midfield a bit. If Miley was playing, I think you would find pockets of space for that through ball for Isak, but I don't think Howe will play him. If Gordon is fit and firing and ready to go, I think you could catch Trent Alexander-Arnold out. I really do. Gomez could be caught from Miggy's pace. His end product has been atrocious recently. If Miggy can have one of those purple patch games, then potentially we might be able to do something. But I'm not feeling very confident about it, guys, I must admit. I hate to be negative. Certainly the first game of 2024, I really want this to be a new leaf for Newcastle United, and I just can't see anything, unfortunately, but a Liverpool victory. I think the way Liverpool are playing, they look like they've shaken off the bugs of last season in terms of what was holding them back and what cost them that top 4 Champions League position that we filled. They look like they're firmly back to being the Liverpool that we all kind of know. The new players that they've got have settled in. Alexander-Arnold's getting more involved in the attacking third of the pitch. Salah isn't quite the Salah that he used to be. I must admit, some Liverpool fans have moaned about him. I have seen that on social media. Salah's seasons at Liverpool could be coming to an end. I think Saudi Arabia are very interested in signing him as one of those big kind of players with that kind of Muslim religion type poster child setup for the Saudis. So I know that's been linked for a long, long time. So maybe this could be the last season that we see a Mo Salah in a Liverpool shirt. Who knows? Gakpo flatters to deceive for me, and Nunez, like I say, can blow hot or cold. He can look world class or he can look shite. It just depends which Nunez turns up. If it's the Nunez that scored the goals in James Park, we'll be in trouble. So I'm very worried about this. And for me, the only way Newcastle can get a result in this is if they dig in deep, they defend well. Trippier comes and plays the way Trippier has been playing for the majority of his Newcastle career, not the last couple of months. Tino Livramento has a great game on the left-hand side, has to play Eddie Howe. If you play Dan Burn in this game, we are fucked. Simple as that. You cannot play Dan Burn at left back against this slot. We will be cooked, absolutely cooked alive. And if we do get cooked and you do play Dan Burn, Eddie, then you deserve all the criticism you're going to get. I'm sorry, mate, but you do. The midfield, we need more discipline in there. Somebody has to sit. Somebody has to watch that run from Szoboszlai, who can break the lines and get in behind the midfield and in front of the back four. He's great from range. He's got a good range of passing. He's got a great shot on him as well. He could be a real danger. So if it is Joelinton, Bruno, and Longstaff, one of them has to sit on him, has to drop deep, which isn't really something they're very good at. Even if it's Miley as well. I know he's a young lad. I don't want to be too hard on him, but we saw the Nottingham Forest equaliser. All 3 midfielders pushed up to the edge of the box, got caught short when Miggy loses the ball, and then we conceded. And the other 2 goals were no different either as well, to be fair. Just walk straight through the middle of the park. That number 6 position is so key for us in January. All these Calvin Phillips talks, my word, I wish he was there already and playing on New Year's Day, because he could sit on Szoboszlai and maybe, cut one of their main threats out of their game. But it's going to be a really tough game for me. I just hope the lads can put in a good performance, do the best that they can. I mean, if they could get a draw from Anfield, it would be an unbelievable result. Newcastle have showed that they're capable of these results before. They've got these results when nobody's expecting them to get them. But this is a tough ask. We've got a rotten record at Anfield, and I can only see a Liverpool win. And unfortunately, I'm going to go for 3-1 to Liverpool, I think. I just think that they're going to have too much for us, and I just think we're going to lose this game and, come back. Pat ourselves back, we'll get back on the training pitch, and there's a bigger game for us on the 6th, which is the game against the Mackhams, which is a must-win game. Let's reignite our season by beating those fuckers in the FA Cup, and then pushing on from there with players back from injury and new additions in January. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below about the lineup, about the result. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm being too negative? Do you think we've got a chance? I always like to think we've got a chance, but I just can't say it in this game, unfortunately. I really can't. I'm just being pragmatic rather than optimistic, unfortunately. But that's my thoughts about it. Let us know yours, guys. We always like to hear from you. As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, click subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're over 6,100 subs. Loads of room for you and ever more. Smash the button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos, like the match previews. Me and Mark are going to be live with a post-match Monday at 7 p.m. rather than what's going on. It'll be a post-match analysis, but still live. Jump in the comments, guys. Let us know how you feel about the game after full-time blows, and we'll see you then. Have a cracking new year, and we'll catch you in 2024. Cheers now. Bye-bye.